Good times, bum times, I've seen them all, my dear. I'm still here. Plush velvet sometimes, sometimes just pretzels and beer. But I'm here. I've stuffed the dailies in my shoes, strummed ukuleles, sung the blues, seen all my dreams disappear, but I'm here. I've slept in shanties, guest of the WPA, but I'm here. Danced in my scanties, $3 a night was the pay, but I'm here. I've stood on bread lines with the best, watched while the headlines did the rest. In the depression was I depressed? Nowhere near. I met a big financier, and I'm here. I've been through Gandhi, Windsor and Wally's affair, and I'm here. Amos and Andy, Mahjong and platinum hair, and I'm here. I got through ABs, Irish Rose, 5D babies, major bows, and BBGBs for BBs, bathysphere. I lived through Shirley Temple, and I'm here. I've gotten through Herbert J. Hoover. Gee, that was 4.5. And you've been through Herbert J. Hoover. Anything else is a laugh. I've been through Reno, I've been through Beverly Hills, and I'm here. Reefers, vino, rescues, religion, and pills, but I'm here. Been called a pinko, commie too, got through it stinko by my pool. I should have gone to an acting school, that seems clear. Still, someone said she's sincere, so I'm here. Black Sable one day, next day it goes into hawk, but I'm here. Top billing Monday, Tuesday you're touring in stock, but I'm here. First you're another slow-eyed van, then someone's mother, then your cab, then you career from career to career. I'm almost through my memoirs, and I'm here. I've gotten through, hey lady, aren't you hostess? Wow, what a looker you were. Or better yet, sorry, I thought you were hostess. Whatever happened to her? Good times and bum times, I've seen them all, and my dear, I'm still here. Plush velvet sometimes, sometimes just pretzels and beer, and I'm here. I've run the gamut, A to Z, 3 cheers and damn it, c'est la vie. I got through all of last year, and I'm here. Lord knows at least I was there, and I'm here. Getting to know you, getting to know all about you, getting to like you, getting to hope you like me, getting to know you, putting it my way, but nicely. You are precisely my cup of tea. Getting to know you, getting to feel free and easy. When I am with you, getting to know what to say. Haven't you noticed? Suddenly I'm bright and breezy because of all the beautiful and new things I'm learning about you day by day. Haven't you noticed? Suddenly I'm bright and breezy because of all the beautiful and new things I'm learning about you day by day.
One dream in my heart, one love to be living for, one love to be living for. This nearly was mine, one girl for my dream. In paradise, this promise of paradise, this nearly was mine. Close to my heart she came, only to fly away, only to fly as day flies from moonlight. Now I'm alone, still dreaming of paradise, still saying that paradise once nearly was
Good afternoon. I'm Lori Carlson, current chair of the Board of American Theater Company, and I'm so glad you're all here as we pay tribute to the wonderful life that was that of Ed Durnall. I first met Ed 10 years ago when I was doing some backstage work for American Theater Company as a volunteer. And there was an instant connection. We were friends almost immediately because he was such a sweet and kind man. And he made this, I knew nothing about theater. He made this total theater newbie feel very comfortable and extremely welcome. And as we worked through that show, the magnificent Full Monty that ATC did, he kept talking to me about how good I was at this and asked me to stage manage on A Christmas Carol, which I had never done anything like that. And I have been with that show ever since, thanks to Ed. And we stayed friends throughout our whole career at ATC together, and we would spend time together. I drove him back and forth to lots of things. We would go out to dinner approximately once a week, and those dinners that were supposed to be an hour, hour and a half would stretch to 2 to 3. Ed was the first person to ever tell me that I had a cool head. I always thought of myself as a very hot-tempered individual, and something happened. I can't even remember what the incident was, but it was the first year I was doing Christmas Carol, and something went a little bit wrong. And I was calling the show, and we just fixed it on the fly, and everything was fine. And he said, see, this is why you should do this. You have such a cool head. And I will never forget that. Ed and I worked on a lot of shows together. Ed mentored me through my first directorial experience with A Steady Rain. And we co-directed on Seascape, and he was a mentor and one of my best friends. And I'm gonna miss him. And I'm really glad that I had the experience of knowing Ed. I loved him, and I'm sorry he's gone, but I'm glad he had so many friends. I'm glad all of you are here.
Have I ever sought release?
In what? No.
In what then?
In a changed nature. In changed hopes and goals.
You think that?
I would gladly think otherwise, if I could. You've grown so cold, I hardly know you anymore. Your love of gold displaces all you felt before. I wish you happiness in this new life you choose to lead. I give you all my heart, but it can't start to fill your need. Your quest for money and success possesses every thought and deed. I wish you happiness. I cannot give you more. And so we part.
Why must we part?
Sadly go our
I
separate
can
ways.
change my way.
But take my heart and keep it with you all your days. I wish you happiness.
The world for
My
your
breath all
own.
with you
If I had it to give,
I love you
all I have is for you all alone.
I guess you'll
For
never
as long as we live, for you, my dearest love, for you, every crown that I own, I would prize to you. I cannot give you more.
I release you with a heart full of love for the man you once were. You may have some pain in this, but after a brief time, you will dismiss the memory of it as an unprofitable dream. May you be happy in the life you have chosen. I wish you happiness in this new life you choose to lead. I give you all my heart, but it can't start to fill your need. Your quest for money and success possesses every thought and need. I wish you happiness. I cannot give you more.
Hello, everyone. I'm Patty Harwell and longtime friend of Ed's. First of all, I wanted to say thank you for everybody that's here paying tribute to Ed Journal, and the comments that we're reading. It just shows you how many people whose lives he touched, how many people loved him. And we are going to on YouTube, my understanding is, so that if somebody missed it, they can go back and see it later. And we will have those comments, I'm pretty sure, included somehow in there. And so be sure to sign in and maybe leave a comment so that we have this for Ed. So I worked with Ed I've known him almost 20 years probably, worked with him on shows almost the entire time, a couple of years off here and there, either him or me toward the end. But one thing is that he became part of our family. And I mean, there's a theater family, but there's my true family. Ed had Thanksgiving with us. He had Christmas with us pretty much, well, every year since he started. And he just fit right in. My family loves him. He would go on Thanksgiving, he would go with us to Lights on Square and then walk around in Swan Lake and look at the Christmas lights. And then Christmas, he would go on Christmas Eve. We always have our dinner on Christmas Eve. He'd go to church with us on Christmas Eve. He just fit in with our family. And when we'd have other guests over, he would go and talk to everybody and just got and fit in every conversation. Another thing I wanted to share is the building, Studio 308. He saw the vision and he went to so many places with me looking at old, dilapidated, greasy buildings. And but like I say, he saw the vision. He was right in there with us. And I remember that first year when we bought this building and we kind of got bumped from our rehearsal space at Zero, which used to be Phillips Elementary, and everyone came, and anyone that was in that Christmas Carol that year remembers how greasy the floors were and how we would tell kids, please don't walk in your shoes at home. And it was and a memory of us laughing at a child that went to go to the bathroom and walked in and said, ugh, and walked out. It's not like that anymore, but Ed saw the vision and he helped us so much with that. Talking about his kind soul, seriously, in all the years that we've known Ed, I never, ever had we never had crosswords between us. It was just always happy and good. Even working on shows, it was always good. So I guess today's Ed's day. Anyone who's on Facebook probably got that notification. So we thought this was a great day to have this for Ed. And so today, January 10th, happy birthday in heaven, Ed. We say, rest in peace, be with Jerry, your one true love, and we will miss you. The Harwells love you. So next, I'm going to introduce, let me see what we have here, sorry. Next is the recorded memories. So people who were so kind to send in some recorded memories. I know there were others that wanted to and just couldn't in their hearts do that, but we have some beautiful memories from people. So I think that's Caroline is going to read that. Is that correct? So thank you all for being here. God bless Ed.
Hello, friends of Ed. I'm Janet Rutland. I had the honor of working with Ed on his first ATC show upon his return to Tulsa. He co-directed My Way with Norma Curley. The show was a musical. It was all Frank Sinatra material. And we just had a delightful cast, outstanding, really. Jessica Spence, Chris Crawford, John Riggs. I mean, come on. And Ed and Norma took such good care of us and spent time on every detail of that show. You know how Ed was about lighting, and he took his responsibility very seriously. But we also had fun. We were just a really tight group. Kara Stagger did our choreography. Cammie Hayes was our stage manager. Aaron Veal did the sound. And Joe Weimer dressed us in the most elegant costumes. I have said many times that Patsy changed my life, but My Way put the fun in it. And I know Ed felt the same way, because over the years, every time I would see him, he would greet me with that gorgeous smile and would reminisce. And he was one of a kind. I wish I could be more like him. I wish I could be the person that greets people with a smile and makes them feel good, you know? He also directed our last run of Patsy. So Peggy and I appreciated him very much on that show. So from 2005 till he left us, he was a very good friend. I want to say bye to my theater family. It's nice to be a part of this tribute to Ed.
Hi everybody, this is Alyssa Ungerman. You probably knew me as Alyssa Faust back in the day when I did summer camp and was in A Christmas Carol. And I was asked to say a couple things about Ed, and there's a lot I could say, so I had to narrow it down a little bit. But what I know for certain is that he was one of the most impactful teachers that I ever had growing up. I first met Ed and went to camp back in 2007, and I had a really interesting experience in my introductory course in college. You know, I'm trying to do the math in my head, like 6-7 years later, where the teacher referenced "You've Got to Be Carefully Taught" from South Pacific. And I was like, I know that, and I knew that because Ed taught us about South Pacific. And that just really shows how long-lasting his impact was and will continue to be. Some of my favorite memories of Ed come from summer camp because he gave us a lot of fun and freedom while also teaching us a lot about theater and acting. But what I remember being even more important was his love and acceptance of us, no matter how weird or crazy we were. I was a weird kid, and a lot of us were weird kids, and some of us were also going through pretty difficult things at the time in our adolescence. But no matter what, even if we did outrageous things or we said outrageous things as theater kids do, he always fully accepted us for who we were and lifted us up and supported us in our dreams to just be actors and and just enjoy that time with us. And that's what I will always remember and value the most about my time with Ed. And they definitely meant just as much as the lessons that he taught us in acting and in theater. So with that, I love you, Ed. We all love you. We miss you terribly and dearly.
Hi, my name's Caroline. I met Ed when I was 7 years old. I've tried to film this video so many times now, and it's really hard to get through without crying. I have so many things that I could share about Ed, so many funny stories about him keeping me in line, which was a pretty usual occurrence. But what I wanted to share about him today is that the first time I did ATC summer camp with Ed was the first time I can remember ever feeling like I fit in. And that people didn't think I was weird. And it all had to do with Ed. He was so kind and so generous and made it such a safe space for anybody. And I know that my experience isn't unique in that he made an environment for so many kids where it was the first time that they felt like they fit in, like they mattered, and like they were important. And I will never forget that. He was such a generous, kind, compassionate, amazing person. And the world was so lucky to have had him. I miss him a lot. And I'm so thankful for everything that he gave me.
Hi, it's Jeremy Stevens here to say a few words on behalf of my good friend who I miss daily, Ed Durnall. First off, I'm wearing my favorite sweatshirt, which made me think of him because it says, "Warning, I break into show tunes." And if you knew Ed and I, you knew that we would do that often. And not just a quick karaoke. Ed and I had shared a wonderful relationship working together at ATC, and several shows, several years of Christmas Carol. But something that we had in common was the love of the musical review type show, My Way. And he talked about his friend Norma and this show all the time, and would love when I would sit down and just play a little ditty, typically from the song My Way. And so I thought today would be a great day for me to play a little ditty from My Way as a tribute to my dear friend, Ed Durnall. And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friend, I'll say it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I traveled each and every highway, and more, much more than this, I did in my way. Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when I bit off more than I could chew. But through it all, when there was doubt, I ate it up and spit it out. I faced it all, and I stood tall and did it my way. Dearest Ed, I will love you forever. You were a huge inspiration and you propelled me and motivated me to do what I do now. And for that, I will forever be grateful. I love you dearly.
Hi again. I'm Caroline Kelly, and I'm going to be reading some memories that people either put on Facebook or sent in of Ed. This one's from Blake Simpson. Last evening, I was heartbroken to learn that Edward Durnall had passed. He was a mentor to me from a young age and played a big part in forming me into the person and artist that I am today. He was a constant in my life from ages 9 to 16, from attending his summer camps to taking on leadership roles at his summer camps and being directed by him in American Theater Company's annual production of A Christmas Carol 6 times. I spent a lot of time observing and learning from Ed. I didn't understand how much he impacted my life until it was too late. His legacy will live on in me for as long as I am an actor and a theater maker. Take a moment to send love to your educators today. P.S. He was the first person I remember who insinuated that Wicked wasn't a perfect piece of theater, which was blasphemous to my 13-year-old brain. Now I see he might have made some good points. And then this memory is from Prudence Suzer. Whilst in Oklahoma last year, I got to be a stagehand for A Christmas Carol. During this time, I met the wonderful director, Ed Durnall. He told me about his time in the Air Force, where he flew down to Melbourne, Australia, and the Air Force guys here stuck a kangaroo sticker on the tail of his plane. He thanked me every single night I was there for the show, though it was entirely my pleasure. I was so happy to sit beside him and share many laughs at the potluck together before Christmas, where my profile picture was taken. We lost this lovely man yesterday. Edward Durnall, you will be missed by so many, and most certainly by this Australian. And then this one is from Andrew Joel. I was deeply saddened to learn today that my friend Edward Durnall died Thursday at his home in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Ed was a veteran of the U.S. Air Force, where he served as a pilot and flight instructor. After his service, he earned an MFA in stage design at NYU's Tisch School of the Arts. He went on to work in entertainment and theater production in Philadelphia before returning to his native Tulsa, where he served as a designer, director, and production consultant for a regional theater company. At the time of his death, Ed was retired. I do not know the cause of death. I knew Ed only a little through this odd medium. Two of his qualities I knew full well. First, Ed was courageous. I know this because of his military service, of which he was rightfully proud and never boastful. I know this also because he returned to seek his MFA in his late 30s, when his age surely would have made him an outlier. Then, after carving out a career in Philadelphia, he returned to Tulsa nearly 20 years ago and identified himself as a proud LGBTQ vet. We are all better because of Ed and others who bring artistic discipline to Tulsa and Enid and Laredo and all of the other places that are not New York or Los Angeles or Chicago. We are all safer because of Ed and others who are proudly out in hometowns that aren't necessarily hospitable. It takes tremendous courage to live and work as Ed did. When the pandemic came to the fore, Ed stayed home and took appropriate cautions when he went out, even though the Oklahoma governor's advice was often unreliable. This was a lonely duty and difficult, and I know that it wore on Ed. Still, he did his part courageously. This is the other thing I know about Ed. He was kind. His view of the world was sunnier than mine. He was a bit of a softie and quick to give more than he got. He got the best in everyone. It seemed, and more often than not, he found it. The tributes from his many friends and colleagues testify to this. He was a constant source of encouragement and inspiration, especially to young people getting started in theater. One or two of you also knew Ed. I suspect many of us know people like him, people working on the side of the good guys, in relative isolation, making the world a little brighter. I'm glad to have known Ed, if only a little. I wish I could have known him better and longer. I hope I made it a little easier. And then this memory is from Heather Rumley. Ed Durnall was one of the most gentle, lovely souls to grace our theater community. He was quiet, sweet, warm, genuine, accomplished, and generous in sharing his talents. I had the pleasure of working under his direction on ATC productions like Sideshow and A Grand Night for Singing. In addition to serving alongside him on ATC's board of directors for several years, in every setting, Ed brought a calming voice, an open mind, and a friendly and optimistic approach. And when the going got tough, he wouldn't stand back and let others deal with things. He would jump in feet first to make things better. I'm so very proud to call him my friend, and will remember him best as someone who deeply loved theater and fervently gave his heart, soul, and sweat equity to those around him. American Theater Company and I are both better for having known and loved Ed. And this memory is from Ashley Moorcraft. When I was 12 years old, I was in a show Ed directed. I told a girl I thought I was gay. She told her mom then told my mom. I was distraught. I thought I would never see anyone again. My biggest fear at the time was being blacklisted. When the show was over, I learned not only was I not blacklisted, the entire girl's family was. See, Ed protected gay youth. I was lucky my parents didn't care, but Ed knew that that is rarely the case. That was a huge moment for me, knowing that I had a safe space to just be me. About a year later, Robert Walters at ATC cast me as a lesbian in my first leading role as Tilly in She Kills Monsters. I think Ed had something to do with that. And then this memory is from Shay Poole. Hello, friends. I know that because you're hearing this now, Ed has impacted you in some way, shape, or form. As many can contest, Ed was nothing short of an image of joy and happiness and shared this to everyone he crossed, no matter how long or short a time. Sorry. Many years of working with him and many long and stressful nights at the theater, you could always count on an Eddie smile to vary your temperament for that day. He was such a vision of joy, and it was hard not to love him. I will miss his stories. I will miss his unapologetically shared knowledge. I will miss his smile, and I will miss his heart most of all. This dim world is a little dimmer without his light. I miss and love you dearly, Ed. And now we will have a moment of silence.
Hi, my name is Anna Neal, and I am a longtime friend of Eddie Durnall. I met him back in 2006 after I spent a summer in Massachusetts, and I saw him after his help on My Way. And then our first show together was Rocky Horror in October 2006. We really hit it off pretty quickly because he was a friend of my mom's from TU, and he always liked telling me about the things that they did, especially when he took her to the ball for the Air Force. And some of the things that we just really enjoyed doing were going to McNally's after long rehearsals and going to karaoke at Renegade in 209. So I just want to tell you, Eddie, that I love you and we all miss you. And I'm going to sing the song with Jeremy Stevens on accompaniment. This one's for you, Eddie.
Through the wind. Hello, I'm Bob Odell. I've probably known Ed longer than anyone here. As Ed so often and almost always said, we first met when I started my student teaching at Will Rogers High School in late August 1966. I met Doris Niles and some of her senior members of Roundup Board, Susie Monger, Charles Averill, and Eddie Durnall. A group of energetic, creative, talented, intelligent young people who it turned out I would know for the rest of their lives. They all graduated from Will Rogers in 1967, and I graduated from TU that year, and they all went on to the University of Tulsa. Then in 1970, when American Theater Company first began, Ed became involved in the second and third of our productions that first year. As part of the second show, we produced a movie, which was totally filmed in Ed's apartment near TU. He acted in the third production, which was the biggest one we had done and was a tremendous success. After that production, he went on to fulfill his commitment to the United States Air Force. And periodically, during his years as an Air Force officer and pilot, he came back to Tulsa to visit and see our shows. Then in the early 2000s, after leaving the Air Force and getting his MFA from NYU, he came back to Tulsa periodically and stayed in my guest room. Finally, he moved back to Tulsa, got his own apartment, and established life here a few years later. It was at that time that he became involved with our summer theater program, as we've heard, and he started directing some of our shows. Especially important was his taking over of the direction of our annual production of A Christmas Carol. I loved working with Ed as an actor during the years we produced Christmas Carol and his vision for Rocky Horror, when we did the Rocky Horror show, which he directed, was wonderful and made it really a splendid show. It ran for 4 years. I've missed Ed for some time now. I loved learning about and hearing about his experiences as a pilot, especially his travels in Egypt and Greece and other places in Europe and all over the United States. Many places he was based in the Air Force. I miss his insights and experiences from his work in Philadelphia at the AMC theaters and at the International House. I loved watching Downton Abbey, and after each episode, the phone would ring and Ed and I would talk about the latest episode, many times for longer than the episode had lasted. We both loved that show. We loved talking about it and watching it. At the sneak preview of Downton Abbey one year at the Circle Cinema, we were asked to judge a costume contest they had. And we were given OETA mugs, which I still have and use and think of him every day when I use it. Its education, experiences, travel, and intelligence made him a fascinating person to talk to. I've often said, and some of you have heard me say in the past, and remember that Ed should be teaching classes in the history of motion pictures and the history of musical theater at a university. His knowledge was so broad in those fascinating areas. Ed was intelligent, very intelligent, compassionate, and charming. It was that charm that made him so good at curtain speeches before shows and on the local TV talk shows. He had a magnetic personality that drew people to him. And that is why all of us are here today and why we miss him. That is what enabled him to have so much impact on so many people. Today, on his 72nd birthday, we meet to say how much we miss him and love him, and to celebrate his life and to honor his memory. Before we see pictures of Ed as our parting, I thank Lori Carlson, Patty Harwell, Shay Poole, Caroline Kennedy, and Alyssa Ungerman for all their dedication to Ed and their amazing technical, logistical, and organizational work in putting this celebration of Ed's life together today. And thanks to all of you for being with us today.
What have we done? Learned the truth, closed a door, opened more. I'm scared, Daisy, of what? Being alone, but you're not. You never have been. If we stood on our tiptoes, we could peek over the sill, and once in a while we would see a girl slowly walking up the hill. And we'd think, what a sad situation to be outside on your own, to go through the day with no playmate, to go through life all alone. I will never leave you. I will never go away. We were meant to share each moment. Beside you is where I will stay. Evermore and always we'll be one, though we're two. For I will never leave you. When the day is filled with shadows that stretch into the night, I am filled with your sweet comfort, like morning fills with light. I will never leave you. I will never go away. We were meant to share each moment. Beside you is where I will stay. Evermore and always we'll be one, though we're two. For I will never leave you. No, I will never leave. I will never leave. I will never go away. We were meant to share each moment. Beside you is where I will stay. That's where I will stay. Evermore we'll be one, though we're two. One, though we're two. For I will never, I will never, dancing in the backyard, Kool-Aid mustache and butterfly wings, hearing Andrea McCardle sing from the hi-fi in the den. I've been waiting my whole life
find a way back to then. I aimed for the sky, a 9-year-old can see so far. I'll conquer the world and be a star. I'll do it all by the time I'm 10. I would know that confidence if I knew a way back to then. So I bailed on my hometown and became a college theater dork. I was eastbound and down, moving to New York. So I crammed my life in a U-Haul to find my part of it all. But the mundane sets in. We play by the rules and plow through the days. The years take us miles away from the time we wondered when we'd find a way back to then. And when you least expect, opportunity walks through the door. You suddenly connect with the thing that you forgot, that you've been looking for. And there you are, right in the middle of what you love, with the craziest of company. You're having a kick-ass time and being who you wanted to be in this world. You're that little girl with her wings unfurled, flying again. Back in the backyard dancing, I found a way back to them.
Humbug! Every Christmas it's the same old story. There's no respite, I fear. All this rubbish grows more and more ridiculous each year.
Sleigh bells and church bells start ringing once more.
Garlands of holly now grace every door.
It's undeniably plain that it's Christmas time again.
The hustle and bustle of last-minute plans.
Headaches and plum cakes, a time for romance. The grandiose busy and hay when it's Christmas time again.
Carolers of every size raise their voice in harmony. Melodies are ascending to the skies.
Nothing could be sweeter, save that they could sing on key. What's happening is maddening, chaotic at best.
It's gladdening, it's fattening, there's no time for rest.
But I'm too agog to complain, for it's Christmas time again. Sleigh bells and church bells start ringing again, singing of peace and goodwill to all men, making it wonderfully plain that it's Christmas time again. Each year when we hear the caroling start, the cheer from down here swells up in each heart, proclaiming with each new refrain that it's Christmas time again. Christmas means so many things.
Kisses 'neath the mistletoe.
Think of all the happiness it brings. Children laughing, having fun, and romping through the snow. It's happening. It's Presley. It's good for the soul. Inspiring,
but tiring.
It never grows old. We sing hallelujah, amen. 'Cause it's Christmas time again.
If today were the day you had to stop dancing, how would you feel?
Kiss today goodbye, the sweetness and the sorrow. Wish me luck the same to you, but I can't regret what I did for love, what I did for love. Look, my eyes are dry. The gift was ours to borrow. It's as if we always knew. And I won't forget what I did for love, what I did for love. Gone, love is never gone. As we travel on, love's what we'll remember. Kiss today goodbye and point me toward tomorrow. We did what we had to do. Won't forget, can't regret what I did for love. What I did for love. What I did for love. Love is never gone. As we travel on, love's what we'll remember. Kiss today goodbye and point me toward tomorrow. We did what we had to do.
It's going to be for several people.
Won't forget, can't regret what I did for love. What I did for love.
I just want to say thank you to all you guys. Thank you.